Hey everyone, it's Robert and you're watching Sidestep Adventures. I'm out here today with Brian and Cody, and we're at another seemingly forgotten cemetery that's hidden just off the side of the road. So this one I didn't find just driving around. My good friend Dan Aiken actually told me about this one. And this is a pretty historic cemetery here. We're going to go through and read some of the names and document it as best we can. This is an old family cemetery known as the Watley Livingston Cemetery. And so let's get started reading some of the names and getting this place documented. Good long life. Early in the season. Since thou I've got to say, it never ever ceases to amaze me how on just the side of the road a place like this can be hidden in plain sight, and you really don't know it's there unless you're looking really hard or somebody tells you about it. So here we have, in memory of Catherine Savannah Watley, wife of W.A. Clark, departed this life October 1st, 1881, in her 44th year, with faith in the Redeemer. So here's one that's unmarked. Right here you can see some rock, some quarried rock was placed around it. And here's a large flat stone. We'll kind of clean off a little bit. All right, so here we have Elizabeth Hannah, wife of Dr. James M. Young, daughter of S.J. and Mrs. Watley. She died March 2nd. Oh, she died on my birthday, 1884, at the age of 48 years. Well, at the bottom here it says, after 14 years of mysterious sickness. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Right there, I wonder what it was. And there's some nice carving right there in the stone. It says, taken from the evil to come. There's something else carved right there. Well, that's pretty incredible. Not a whole lot we get something like that on an old gravestone after 14 years of mysterious sickness. That's really interesting.
And they knew, a lot of the illnesses that were. I mean, it's not like she had cancer. They knew about cancer. What year was that?
1884.
I'm pretty sure they knew about cancer in those days. So, I mean, it's like, what was it?
Yeah. And here we have, in memory of Miss Mary Frances Watley, born February 28, 1841, and died May 7, 1881, in hopes of a happy immortality. There's a broken piece of one right here. I just kneeled down on the rest of the stone, which you guys can't even see it right there, but there you go. Now you can see it. There's another broken section. Okay, that's the base of it right there. So let's see if we can't kind of place this together real quick. Well, it's It's not going to sit like that, but you guys can see how it would have gone. All right, so it's in memory of Susan Wilson Watley. And the soil is so wet in here it's kind of hard to see. It says, departed this life October 1st, 1879. And there's no further inscription. All right, so here we have a couple of false crypts. In this case, there's no one, the body is not above the ground. It is a below ground burial. Get a lot of questions on that people see. In most cases, it's like that, where it's not a true above ground burial. But here we have in memory of Seaborn T, or is that a J? That is a J. Seaborn J Watley, who was born October the 18th, 1798, and died February 9th, 1886. He lived a good long life. It says, Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. And there's some more on the bottom. It says, thou shalt come to thy grave in a frail age, like as a shock of corn cometh in his season. Wow, it's pretty interesting too. All right, so I see some writing under there, but I figure we look here. This is sacred to the memory of Martha Elizabeth, wife of, there's a biting fly on me, and it's biting me. There. It's a little early in the season for them, but we've had an exceptionally warm winter for the most part here in Georgia. Anyway, back to this. Sacred to the memory of Martha Elizabeth, wife of Seaborn J Watley, who departed this life July 18th, 1868, aged 60 years. And we'll clean off this stone and see what's written on it. Beneath this marker rests at peace the keeper at home, the quiet neighbor, the indulgent parent, the lovely and loving wife. The heart of her husband did safely trust in her, for she rendered him good and not evil all the days of her life. In memory of Martha Milford Watley, who departed this life November 11th, 1862, age 16 years and 2 months. She was just 16 years old. Her life had just begun when she died. This is Seaborn H, son of James L. and Mary K. Watley, born February 16th, 1880, died August 18th, 1882. Just a 2-year-old, another child. Since thou canst no longer stay to cheer as with thy love, we hope to meet with thee again in your bright world above. This is Samuel John Watley, born October 31st, 1834, and died September 12th, 1843. Another child here, and a very early grave for this area. And this one was probably a child as well. It's a small grave. Actually, it's a rather large grave for a child, and that one's more like the child's grave. There's something right there I just stepped on. I guess it's just a field stone, probably fallen off of this grave here. So these two are not marked. We will look at those pretty close. We're going to go over here to this marked one. Actually, that one's not marked. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are not marked out here. So this is a mason, or he was a mason. It says husband, Judson Livingston, August 4th, 1853 to June 25th, 1924. An honest man is the noblest work of God. In the bottom it says Livingston. So amongst these that I assume are older graves over here is the newest grave out here, at least the newest marked grave. We kind of cleaned that grave off just a little bit. See if there's any further inscription. I know you guys are always telling me to buy a broom, but you just have to bear with me using my hands at the moment. There is no further inscription on it. There's a broken piece. I guess this is in pretty bad shape here. Alright guys, so that looks like almost all of the marked graves except for that one right there, which I just noticed. It simply says Livingston on it. And it actually looks like a footstone for a grave that maybe right here. Let me kind of kick these leaves back. Thought there might be a headstone buried there under the leaves. You can see there's some rocks. There probably would have been another rock tomb here, but no other stone. So it kind of looks like a footstone, but it may be a headstone for a child or something right here. So that appears to be all of the marked graves out here in quite an interesting place. Now, before we close out, I will walk by these unmarked graves in silence, since we can't read the names that are buried here. So I was about to close out the video and I saw this sticking up out of the leaves over here, right beside the cemetery. And don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's really old or not, but I figured I'd show it to you guys and you guys could let me know if you knew what that was. I don't know if it's something that dates back to when a homestead was here, or if it's somehow related to the cemetery. Almost looks like the base of a gate, but I don't know what it is. I'll let you guys let me know what you think. Almost looks like some kind of inscription right there. If you look really close, I don't know if the light will let it show up a little bit better or not. Looks like there's a line drawn, line up there, and lines going down. That could just be shapes in the metal. But like I said, I'll just leave that like it was and let you guys tell me if you recognize what it is. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing the cemetery with us today. Really amazing place, another really neat part of history, and just on the side of the road. Like I said, largely forgotten about. People probably drive by this place all the time and don't know it's here. And this grave right here, the lady who died of a mysterious illness, I'm really fascinated about that. That's really interesting, you know, and it's a mystery for me, even 136 years later, what she died of. So that's pretty interesting. And I think we're about to get out of here. There's a bird up there that's pretty angry that we're here right now.
Oh, that's a woodpecker. And that's like a finch of some kind, or sparrow.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on the next adventure. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.